Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is part 2 of the Era of Conquest video series. I'm recording this immediately after my last one, but it won't be posted on the same day, but hello again. So in the first video, we basically covered the intro, your starting week, or it's about 10 days, so let's just say you're starting 2 weeks, and some of the more important factors such as prestige points. In this video, I really want to cover the next kind of phase in the event. So after about that 10 days, 14 days, whatever it is, these bridges start to open up. So these bridges, as I mentioned in the first video, if you haven't seen it, you go ahead and check that out. It's kind of the baseline of everything else. You start in these green zones, and the only way to exit is by taking these bridges. You cannot do that until the 10 or 14 days or whatever it may be. And then you can take the bridge. It's very easy. You just occupy it for a certain amount of time. That's it. It's just like the Akaham, building in your regular continent. Basically, just attack it and occupy it for a certain amount of time. If you're fighting with your own continent in the very beginning, you guys might be fighting over the bridge. But the only way you can actually take the bridge is if your land, so either your banner or your strongholds, are touching the bridge. So I can't just go and take this bridge over here because we don't have anything touching it, right? So once you get to the bridge, you unlock this sort of gray section all throughout here. If you guys can see that, this sort of large gray area. And as you might be able to tell, there are multiple bridges to this gray area, which means now you're going to get your first interaction with other continents. So in this sector that we had, there are 3 continents touching. Again, the continents are in this green zone. This red zone you get to later. So 206, I believe, up here, 199 over in this corner, and then 200 here. So you occupy this, and then again, you have to do the same thing, build your banners out to the different buildings here. This will take time and a lot of resources. I should also mention, in order to build your banners, you actually have to put troops in your banners. Otherwise, they're not going to build. So 1, you're going to need troops. 2, you're going to need a lot of people collecting. And 3, you are going to need speed. Speed might arguably be the most important factor, because whoever gets to these first can then basically set up shop there, set up their areas. They can all teleport there and basically defend this area. You can attack other clans' banners if you are touching them, meaning if you surround this building, right, with all of your banners, the first second that they touch, you can then start killing their banners from there. So that's pretty much what you do when this gray area opens. You can attack other bases during the blood event. So during the blood event, you can basically teleport and attack other bases. You have to be in an area with them. So generally speaking, that's going to be this gray area in the beginning. Eventually, you can make your way over and take their bridges and then start killing them within their own continent. But in the initial stage, it's just basically going to be in this gray. Or again, if you are touching that area, you can start attacking their bases. There are shields and things like that, so it's not just a absolute bloodbath. But just know that battle basically begins now. You go and you take these buildings basically the exact same way. So here we have the Mystic Sanctum. You can see the occupation buff increases HP for all troops, as well as you get these Continental Conquest Prestige, and then just some Miracle Cores. That's just another resource, basically. So again, that Continental Conquest Prestige is going to basically go into this overall thing, and every member is going to get a certain number of points. As you can see in this top ranking, there's 50, I believe. 40 of them are basically in one clan. A good amount of that is due to the fact that we occupied a lot of buildings, a ton of buildings. So not only is it giving your clan benefits, it's also giving you individual benefits. So work hard in this event, right? Don't just be a slacker or anything like that. It helps you and your clan, so it's a win-win. you go ahead and you take all these buildings. They give different buffs. Every building basically has different buffs. This is increase troop attack, and then again more prestige. And then there's this middle building right here at the temples. The temples are kind of on a completely different schedule, so that's not really something you'll build to immediately. You don't actually have to build to it at all to capture it. And then eventually you'll want to make your way to the desert temples, which give you even more. They're basically the bigger buildings here, and so on and so forth. You can build all the way across to start taking these, but generally I recommend whatever bridge you are, branch out to the closest, take those, and continue that snowball. During that time, every single day, you are going to be doing the time events that I spoke about in the very beginning, in the first video. So you'll be killing wildlings or worms. You'll be training troops, getting more power, collecting, etc. But now you also have that Battle of Blood, and you can attack the other continents. You can trade with the other continents or just outright kill them. But a lot of times there's a lot of shields, which is kind of one of the problems I feel with this event, is that you can attack someone and then immediately shield. I think there should be some sort of cooldown. So let's say you attack somebody, maybe it takes 10 minutes until you can shield, or 2 minutes or something, so that you can't just attack someone and then just immediately shield. They can't retaliate, or they can't do anything, and you can just do that infinitely. You can continue to do that over and over and over, basically. So that's just kind of one update that I wish I saw from this event or in the future. And then you basically rinse and repeat that every day for another, week or 2 weeks or whatever the amount of time, probably just a week, but it feels like 2 weeks. And eventually these bridges are going to open into the red zone, or the red sand area. So I'll be covering that in the next video, obviously, but there are some other aspects of the game that should be talked about, or of the event that should be talked about. There are different leveling systems. There's grace. There's a grace level, and you get these kind of grace skills. They're similar to chief skills, as well as talents. So conquest talent. This is actually almost entirely just chief skills. Basically all of them. There are different skill sets. There are 3 skill sets. You're not going to have all of them unlocked. You'll just have one skill set unlocked in the beginning. There's a package that you can buy. It's $20 for the whole event, and you'll unlock skill set 2. And then there's a grace level where you'll unlock skill set 3. But in the very beginning, you're just going to have skill set 1 unless you purchase the $20 pack, which I do recommend. It lasts the entire event. You get a ton of conquest talent points. It's $20. It's not terribly expensive, and you unlock 2 skill sets, which is fairly good. But you don't have to if you don't want to. It's not going to be a game changer. So anyway, like I said, these are basically chief skills. There's battle, growth, and support. Battle obviously gives you buffs: rider HP, barbarian attack, blah blah blah, troop defense, yada yada yada. Yeah, pretty simple. There's growth, which increases your building speed, which is very big, very important. Increases demolition speed against, let's say you're attacking another player's banners, more building speed, and then just overall production, and then eventually collecting speed, but you might not get there early. And then there's the support tab, which is wildling stuff, as well as some training speed or healing speed or trap making speed. Generally, I would always just go training speed, and that's pretty much it. It's just wildling stuff and training speed are kind of the only reasons you go down the support path. So what I recommend, again, if you have the available income or if you are a spender in the game, buy the conquest supply, get both skill sets, use one specifically just for your battle points, and use skill set 2 just for your growth points. As you can see, I have 0 in battle, 0 in support, and I only have them in growth. This allows you to build your banners quicker, which again leads to that snowball effect. So there are many, many different ways to get those Conquest XP. One of them is this Conqueror's Legacy. This is another pack that you can buy. You don't have to. You can get it for free, and you get a lot of Conquest XP. Attacking wildlings gets you a ton of Conquest XP. And so on and so forth. You get a lot of Conquest XP just by basically playing the event. all the time. So the more active you are, the higher your levels are going to be, the more benefits you get, and so on. The grace levels, however, are a little bit different. There's only 2 ways to get these. One is by purchasing packs, and 2 is in the merchant shop. So I'm not really going to go through it, but maybe I'll try it like once or twice. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. So you can get 50 grace XP for 200 gems. You can get 500 and all different varying amounts. 20, 50, 100, 200, or maybe 250, 500. 500 is the max, and it's like 2,000 gems or something. So you'll end up spending a ton of gems re-rolling in the merchant stuff if you really want your grace levels. Or if you purchase packs. So a $100 pack, you get 500 grace XP, and it goes down from there. $20 is the minimum. 20, you get like 100 grace XP and whatever. And then you just use all those points, and you get your grace levels. So grace levels basically capture everything. In the beginning, it's that donation rate. So donation rate is a little bit confusing. When you collect, only 5% of the resources will go to the clan. The rest just don't. This will increase basically the amount that goes. So instead of 5, it's 15% or whatever. So that's all that donation rate means. It's a very important skill, and I generally recommend using clicking on the one that you need the most of, or that you're collecting is the quickest of. So, if you guys need more stone or more gold, for example, do those. I kind of just picked the food so I could go up this left tree. I wanted the troop attack. So anyway. And then you basically can just branch up. Some of these are very important. Increase the ability to obtain Conquest Prestige. This gives you 10% more Conquest Prestige than you normally would be getting, which is huge if you're really pushing for those top ranks. You get Squad Capacity, which is a really, really good one. Collecting Speed, 20%. There's a lot of good stuff. Increased Troop Attack when attacking neutral buildings. This one is kind of useless, honestly, because you're not really fighting over neutral buildings too much. More, again, Conquest Prestige 20%. You get that skill set 3, so you can then have your support. And then double daily rewards and daily conquest event. This is huge if you are pushing those top ranks. But it's very expensive. You're going to need to purchase quite a few amount of packs to actually get up to this high enough level. And you can go down and blah, 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 blah. You can go all around. So you're likely not going to get this early, if at all, unless you're buying packages. So yeah, if you're planning on hitting the top ranks, you're like if that's really your dead set goal, you need to hit the top ranks. You're going to want to buy as many packs as you can right at the start, so that you get all these grace levels, and that's kind of your way to the top. Otherwise, likely there will be other players who are going to be doing that. And as such, you're not going to get there. So that's grace. That's talents. Kind of in a nutshell. There's some other events here like Vipa's Vengeance. This is the one. This is Vipa Strike, and you get Conquest XP for doing those. It's not like a huge thing. Chronicles of Conquest are basically it's just like your continent events. So as you can see, I didn't even collect it because it's basically the end. Some of them are for the entire map. So clans must build a total of 15 clan strongholds. This is across the entire map. I guess only 12 people built clan strongholds. This is like the first day, so there's a time limit. And then there are some that are individual. So your clan must occupy one marching camp, your continent, and so on. So yeah. That's just the Chronicles of Conquest. You get some rewards, but it's nothing like super, super major. You get Conquest XP, and that's basically it. Maybe a little bit of gems and whatever. And then there's the Temple of War. So this is what I was talking about. This is exactly like in your regular continent. There are different temples that you can then occupy, just like the Temple of War in your original continent. However, you do get these Conquest Prestige points, as well as these chests, which is nice because what that's going to give you is, again, more points in your ranking, your clan, and every rank. But also, I should mention that the prestige points are very important because you can buy a lot of stuff using your prestige points. So you have this Crystal Tigress display, Barbarian attack and defense by 5%, Rider attack and defense by 5%. These are huge bonuses. because these are basically the best troop types. 50,000 Conquest Prestige, you unlock this permanently. It's very, very big. If you are not hitting this 50,000 Conquest Prestige, that's not a good thing. You should definitely be hitting this, especially if you're a very active player. You will be hitting this, and if you're in an active clan, you will definitely be hitting this. I'm pretty sure every single person in our clan got at least 50,000, and a bunch of other clans as well. There's Rebelite tiers. Rebelite tiers are very important for Haladoms, and they're very expensive. So you have the option of getting Rebelite tiers as well. They're obviously more expensive, but the more prestige points you have, the more you can buy. You can buy Coins of Origin, Dino Eggs. You can buy these Era of Conquest recruitment tickets. These basically just give you heroes. So that's cool. Everybody likes heroes. Star of Opal, blah, 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 blah. So much stuff in here. So it's very nice to have all those Conquest prestige points. You'll get a lot of stuff. And that's basically it for kind of the other events within the map. So that's sort of your second activities, right? Once you scope out your Greenland or your continent land, you capture all your neutral buildings, you take your bridge. Then we get into the step 2 or stage 2 activities. You go into the gray sand, you start fighting other continents, you start taking more neutral buildings, you expand your territory. Generally speaking, you're going to want to capture at least have your banners next to this bridge here, so that once it opens, you can get into the red sand. If you can't, that's okay. If there's much stronger clans or something like that, that's all right. You don't need to get into the red sands to perform well and get prestige and stuff like that. You can honestly just do your thing with your clan, get your clan prestige points, buy your items, and have yourself a wonderful time. I should mention one other thing. You will see that basically everything happens from these points, these main points. So it's like glitched. Let's try to recover. Okay. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties here with getting back to the map. There we go. But everything basically happens according to these points here. So you have the bridges basically act as sort of leeway points where you can build your towers off of your bridge. But other than that, it's going to be your clan strongholds. Do sort of everything else. And I'm still having trouble like moving throughout the map. This could just be something on my emulator. In any case, what can happen is if somebody captures or takes a banner in between your route, what's going to happen is it's going to kind of nullify that path. So you can see here this white area here, all these white tiles, all these white squares, basically means that somehow that banner has been cut off from their original clan stronghold or from the bridge. So here, for example, this clan, I think this is SEC from 199. SEC had a path from this bridge all the way to this neutral building here. We came through and we took the bridge and basically split off their path. What happens when it's in this white stage is you don't get those benefits. So you can't teleport here, and you're not technically connected to this building, so you won't be able to attack it if and when it becomes available. So it's very important that you kind of defend your banners, or at least your path. Very, very important that you do that. Otherwise, you're going to get cut off, and you basically lose all that access. And all they need is to cut off 1 point. So if we cut off right here, this square from LDN, all of this stuff here would then be white, and they wouldn't get any of those benefits. Now, you can build a clan sub-stronghold, which, as you can see, ours is right here. This basically allows it so that your banners can be attached to your club stronghold, your clan stronghold as well. So let's say you make it into this red zone, you put your clan sub stronghold right here, and then everything you can branch off of that stronghold. So even if someone else takes the bridge and tries to take one banner from here and cut it off, you'll still be connected with your club, your clan sub stronghold. That's kind of a tongue twister. So placing your clan sub strongholds is also a very important tactical aspect of the game, but they do cost a lot of resources. So placing them too early could cut you off from getting all the banners, from getting resources for banners, snowballing that aspect that way. So there's a very fine line. There's a lot of strategy involved with Era of Conquest, a lot of high-level strategy in terms of map control. Where do we want to go? Where do we want to position ourselves? How quickly are we gathering these resources? Are we going to be able to meet this? Is it possible that we can path to this bridge, or can we only take this? So there's a heavy amount of strategy involved in Era of Conquest as well. If you're one of the guild leaders, particularly one of the strategists of your guild, a lot of this event lies on your hands. Strategy can win or lose you the game completely. Obviously strength can, but you can win based on just strategy or lose based on just strategy as well. As you can see, there's a lot of white everywhere in here. That was later in the game, but anyway, having all this white is a bad thing for your clan. So that's about it on stage 2. We will be doing more of these as well. We'll have kind of stage 3. That'll be the red zone and some of the aspects of the red zone. And then stage 4 is this very, very middle section here and what to do at the end. So hopefully you guys are enjoying. Again, if you're watching this video, you guys haven't done your Era of Conquest yet, and you're not a leader in your clan or something like that, it might be beneficial to send, I don't care if it's this video or other information or your own information. It's probably a good idea to let your strategists or your R4s or R5 know that it's very important to have good strategy. So do your research before you enter. It's a good thing. So you can send this to them or whatever. I don't care. Anyway, guys, that's about it. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking through for a 22.5-minute video. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Wake up, early mornings, late nights, hopping on a different flight. What's the meaning of life, ayy? Wake up, same-ish, different day. Make a wish, call it pray. Am I sick, am I okay, ayy? Stay up